Salt one, the Tyler. Oh.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Ron and Crystal.
Oh, Jesus.
Hope you can hang out with us for this next hour. Crystal, it's raining cats and dogs in the heart of the city.
Woohoo! Yeah, the showers that we had kind of scattered throughout the morning started to die down, and then in their wake, a new round regenerated pretty much in the same footprint. So we're getting more steady rain.
Yeah, we love the regeneration aspect of this whole
just
thing.
as long as we can keep some rain going, let's keep it. Let's keep
right?
it.
Okay, so Crystal's going to make a special appearance coming up as we start in about 90 seconds. Thanks to everybody who's already online. We got thousands of people watching us on streaming right now. If you've never joined, and we're serious about this, it's the friendliest chat online. Come on in, say hi, be part of the conversation. That's what makes this show go. Fox 10 Talks is how interactive we are. We will see you in 1 minute. And good morning, everybody. 10 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Talks, and we have got rain going on in this city right now. You're looking live at just how slick the roads are, and believe me, this is not an isolated situation. This is the 101 and Elliott, so out there kind of in that Chandler corridor as you're heading south toward the Chandler Mall. Crystal joins us this morning because, Crystal, you've been watching as the situation has gotten, I guess, more and more interesting since we first went on the air.
Yeah, so early this morning, 4:30. Well, I mean, I was in before 3:30 looking at the rain. There was still lingering stuff from overnight when we had some pretty heavy stuff in parts of like the northern and eastern edge of the valley. And then we started to watch storms that were up along the 17 in Yavapai County slip our way, and they just triggered that like ignition switch we needed that started scattering showers throughout the valley. Those showers started to weaken, and now a new round has fired up in its wake. So we're just keeping the ball rolling here.
Okay.
So take a look. There's where the rain is rolling on through. Now, the good news is I call this just like a beneficial rain. It's steady to briefly heavy, but there's no thunder and lightning. There's no hail. There's no wind damage with this. It's just rain that's rolling on by. Only thing is some ponding on roadways will be possible as it starts to pull on through, just because we've already had rain in a lot of these spots, and now they're getting that next round. But other than that, really kind of like just helpful rain that we're dealing with. Look at a couple live cameras I pulled up. I know you just had that one traffic camera up. I grabbed a couple where it was pretty heavy about like 5 minutes ago. Let's see if it still is again. Yeah, okay, yeah, look at that. So that's 202 in Alma School.
Are you kidding?
Coming down a really good clip. So obviously people are probably having to take it slow, or at least I hope they are. Otherwise, the accidents are going to start to stack up as we know the game when it rains here in the valley. And then this is the shot from 101 and 7th Street. So these are two totally different locations. One along the Santan portion of the 202 in the East Valley, and then now this is the north edge of the 101 up in like North Phoenix that we're looking at here.
So are they different cells, or is it just one kind of coming down if you want to bring up your maps?
Yes, yeah, let's look. So it's a couple of lines of showers that are rolling on through. So there's that map I just had a second ago, and there you can see there's like, I would say like 3 lines we've been really watching. There's one here. There's one here, and then there was actually one from earlier that's moving on out. And if you notice, the general flow is kind of this way because there's a small system. I'll go back to this like larger view. There's a small system that's been spinning over us throughout the night, and that's what helped trigger some of those stronger showers throughout the night. In fact, in far North Scottsdale, almost like as you're getting up to Cave Creek, Carefree area, there was at least one Maricopa County Flood Control District gauge that read it 2.68 inches of rain that fell last night. But the spin of this system is kind of like this. It's like whoop,
Oh, so like in a circle.
Yes, so that's why you're getting these regenerating storms over the valley, because until this thing moves and falls apart some, it's just going to keep helping to trigger a few more areas of showers in the valley.
I think it was raining for quite some time yesterday. I think it was about 9:30. I was driving near Cactus in the 101 in Scottsdale last night, and it was really coming down. So it probably that whole entire area. And then as you got closer to the 202 interchange near Tempe Marketplace, boom, it was like really falling.
Yes, yeah. And it was so interesting last night. It was really the difference between some people getting a few hundredths of an inch and some people getting a half an inch or an inch or more of rain. But now those areas that kind of missed last night are getting the better stuff now, which makes sense. There's more energy for the storms to tap into. So look at this line. It's slicing right through downtown outside of our studio. Oh, yeah, coming down.
Yeah,
Anita grabbed
South
me.
Phoenix.
Oh,
Look at
my
that.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, South Phoenix is getting it really good.
Guadalupe.
And then right down to Guadalupe. And as we continue towards Tempe, you'll see that little area of steady to heavy rain is passing right through the 101 and down to the 202 in Chandler as well. So quite a few clusters of areas of rain that are passing by the valley. And then we've got showery conditions out towards Superior. There's a flash flood warning till noon for Tortilla Flat because of the rain that has fallen throughout the night and fallen this morning. And then finally, I just want to wrap up with this one because this is a new flash flood warning that came out. This is for any of our viewers that are up north near Tuba City. I hope I'm saying this right, but the Moenkopi wash in Moenkopi. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Celeste. So this wash is now flooding. It had an 8-foot rise overnight, which has put it to just a little bit above flood stage, enough so that they said some homes in the village of Moenkopi are now flooding. So the concern is if it rises anymore, there'll be additional issues there. So that's in place till 2:15 this afternoon, as they hopefully will start to see the rivers and streams regress there. But for now, that warning in place.
Can you go back to those traffic cams again? I mean, this is really, especially that one on the 101 up there at 7th. I feel like the 101 on the north part of the valley has just been, there's the East Valley. I feel like they have been getting hammered now for what, hour and a half, would you say?
It seems like it, but it's been on and off cells in that area.
Really?
So there's been some breaks, but yeah, they've had on and off rain for several hours. I mean, it really started to fire up. At 6 a.m., I sent out the note that said, hey, actually, I think by 7 we're going to have new storms starting. And that's when that next round started off, was about 7. So it's been a few hours.
All right, Crystal, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just one story we're following for you this morning. We're also, there's a big court case. We want to get right to our Trenton Hooker, who's been watching this court case unfold this week, talking about the Tyler Moldovan case, Celeste.
Let's get right to Trenton.
And, let's do that right now. Trenton, what have you found as you've been looking at the case?
Hey, Trenton. Good morning, my friend.
Yeah. All right. Stand by, Trenton. I think we do have some of that sound that he was looking at, and we'll get right out to Trenton in a moment.
You're going to have to decide from the evidence, was he saying that you're a police officer? Are you going to lock me up? Or was he unsure that he was a police officer and was asking him to confirm that he was a police officer?
All of this evidence brings us back to the defendant's own words. What y'all gonna do? You gonna lock me up? That's what the defendant said before he pulled his gun and unloaded 15 rounds at Officer Moldovan.
I have a bullet wound to the right side of my head behind the ear, to the left side of my head behind the ear.
No, it's not good.
I came up with some good shit. I'm good.
Those have been some of the developments. We are bringing in Josh Kolsrud now to discuss. Have there been any real surprises this week? What's been your main takeaway?
Well, this is a trial that has been coming for 5 years, right? I mean, I feel so bad for the victim, but also I feel happy for him because after 5 years, he finally gets to confront the person who shot at him and shot him 8 different times. And hopefully he'll get some closure coming from this. One of the things that I felt like was a little bit of a surprise was that the victim didn't remember anything of the incident. Now, it's incredibly powerful to see him walk to the stand because he had a walker, and you just, as a defense attorney, when you see that, you can't argue against that. And it's so powerful visually that it's going to have an emotional impact on the jury. So what's really going to be interesting to see is whether or not the defendant takes a witness stand, because he is the only person who can testify as an eyewitness to what happened. The 30 seconds, really, that this case comes down to, what happened during those 30 seconds. He's the only one that can tell us that. And when you have a self-defense case where you're analyzing somebody's fear, what he was feeling, what he was thinking, what was in his heart, the jury wants to hear from that person. And he's the only one that can do that. So I think that despite the fact that he has 9 prior felony convictions, the defense has already indicated that he was on parole during their opening statements. I think that he has to take the witness stand.
I think there was some comments about the case that they were showing some body camera footage, in the courtroom, and they were showing the moments before the shots rang out, and they said that Officer Moldovan had not said, "Hey, I'm a police officer," or is it? Do you think we'll see more of that body camera footage and what it says? What the officer is saying and what we're hearing.
So you said something very interesting, which was that the officer may not have indicated that he was an officer, and that's important because Arizona has a very specific statute that deals with self-defense and police officers, and the first part of the statute says that the person has to be identified as a police officer. You don't actually have to say it, but if you're wearing a uniform, it's presumed that the person would know that that's you. Now, in Arizona, self-defense works differently with police officers. So everybody kind of knows what self-defense is. If you're at a bar, someone throws a punch at you and you throw a punch back, that's self-defense. But with police officers, you cannot fight back, and you're supposed to fight in the courtroom. Unless, and there's a very narrow exception, it's excessive force. It's illegal force. And that's the narrow exception that the defense is trying to thread the needle here on. And so what do they have? They said that, the officer was called to really a misdemeanor traffic violation, doing donuts in the parking lot. But they over-responded with a police helicopter, and they're saying that would make anybody who had 9 prior felony convictions and on parole feel like maybe their safety was in danger, their fear was in danger, their life was in danger. So that's what the defense is trying to prove here.
Well, so could the case literally depend on whether or not he identified himself as a police officer? If the defense's argument is the defendant feared for his life and that's why he opened fire, could it literally hinge on that?
It could, but the defense hasn't made that argument. I was expecting them to do it during opening statements if they were going to do that, but they didn't. They didn't say that the defendant, Mr. Williams, didn't believe that it was an officer. In fact, their argument is that he knew it was an officer, and that was the issue. That he felt like his life was in danger in that moment because of his previous contacts with police officers, the fact that he was cornered, that they had a police helicopter for a minor misdemeanor, and so they've kind of embraced the fact that he was an officer.
Josh, we have to take a quick break. Will you hang with us for a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We want to give all of you a quick moment to take a look at a sneak peek of the mystery camera on this Friday.
Celeste, this was my concern, as a matter of fact, that half of the mystery cameras would be all smoky because of what's going on in Canada.
So
this is here in the U.S.
We know where it's at least the general area. Right. We'll be right back after a quick break. We have Leo. All right. All right, welcome back, everyone. 10:15. This train runs on time, Ron.
Yeah, it does.
We love a good on-time train. We're hanging out here.
Yeah, we're obsessed by it.
We want to get to where we're going.
Yeah.
Welcome back. That was a sneak peek of the mystery camera. We have Josh Kolsrud here, our legal eagle, as we like to call him here in studio. Let's get right back into this case and how important. We were just chatting about the body camera footage from all those officers that have them on their person. How important that's going to be in this case?
It's huge for a couple of reasons. Number one, because the victim officer doesn't have any memory of the incident, and his body cam was rolling. It was recording at the time that this happened. And what the prosecution wants to do is break this down frame by frame and then ask rhetorical questions like, when was the defendant's life in danger? Was it when the officer victim was backing up? Was it when he wasn't going for his firearm? Was it when he was reaching for his radio? And really point out that there really is no instance in the video itself where a reasonable person would believe that the defendant's life was in danger and then he needed to shoot and kill, really, the victim officer. So that video is absolutely huge because it shows a couple things. It shows the initial confrontation between the two. It shows the distance between the two. So, the officer Moldovan wasn't even close to the defendant. I mean, he wasn't within striking distance. And it also shows that he was asking the defendant whether or not he had a weapon, and the defendant said no, he did not. And that's when he took a couple steps back, reached for his radio, and then the defendant shot 15 times and hit him eight times.
So let's talk about that, about what the defendant had on his person in terms of weapons and in terms of ammo, which you brought up an interesting point.
Yeah, so just remember that the defendant in this case has 9 prior felony convictions and was on parole. And he was found to have 2 9mm pistols on his person, in his possession, with extended magazines, meaning that the magazine had held 30 rounds. He also had a box of ammunition of 50 rounds in his pocket. And you just have to wonder, what is he doing with all that ammunition and those firearms at that time of night as well?
How long will this case go, would you guess?
I think it'll probably wrap up next week.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there aren't too many witnesses. I mean, this happened so fast. The only thing that's really garnering my attention is, will the defendant take the witness stand and testify on his own behalf? I almost feel like he has to, despite the amount of prior felony convictions. If you're going from self-defense, I think the jury really wants to hear you say it.
Okay. Josh, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Josh.
Now, we have an expert, Celeste. Hang on one sec here. 2 bucks.
You were just seeing one of our amazing engineers, Mario, there.
Is that who that was? Let's go back and check it out. Oh, now he's not on camera anymore.
Now I think he's down below working on some wires.
Yeah, there you go. Here's what we do have, though. I've been so looking forward to our guest here, Celeste. This is Raphael Cohen. Now, he has extensive military experience. He is a military intelligence expert. He also has degrees from the U.S. Army War College, from Harvard, and from Georgetown. He may be the smartest man we have ever had.
Wow.
On Fox 10 Talks. Hi, Raphael.
Hi. Well, with that introduction, that's awfully, you set the ball awfully high. So, thanks for having me.
Okay. You say that the president has a series, he has a dilemma facing him, and all of them are pretty tough options. Walk us through that, would you?
Yeah, sure. So specifically, that article that you're referencing is thinking through what options the United States has vis-a-vis the Strait of Hormuz and concluding the Iran war. I mean, remember that the president went into this conflict promising that this war would end between 4 to 6 weeks. We're now considerably longer than that. We're closer to 5 months, albeit not of active combat operations. And so the president faces a dilemma. We could either sort of say that we've accomplished what we aim to do, cut bait, and leave it be. The problem with that option is it leaves the Strait of Hormuz, which is one of the busiest naval straits in the world. It holds about 40% of the world's oil supply, 20% of the liquid naturalized gas goes through that strait. And all of that would be sort of subject to tolls and control by Iran. You can also escalate and try to break the regime, or the third option here, which is what the United States is currently trying to do, is a sort of limited option, which is degrade Iran's military capabilities, specifically those that are capabilities that can try to control the Strait of Hormuz. So those are the small boats that you see being blown up on your screen, some of the drone manufacturing capability and such. And the idea is to sort of attrit the Iranian capability, such to the point where the Iranians say that this is no longer in their interest and try to cut a deal.
Yeah, well, if we are now blowing up bridges, which started, I believe that was just within the last 24 hours, multiple, focused on Bandar Abbas, not, bombing every bridge in the country, but for military purposes, because that apparently is where they then are, that's their base to attack ships coming and going. Will that work? I think a lot of people are wondering, we have attacked them night after night after night, and they still are able to fire drones and missiles.
Yeah, no, it's a difficult military challenge here. And the reason is that it doesn't take a whole lot of sophisticated military equipment to go after a slow-moving oil tanker coming through a very narrow strip of water, which is what the Strait of Hormuz problem set is. Again, you don't need particularly sophisticated missiles. You don't need specifically sophisticated drones. You can try to negate some of those advantages by going after the launchers and so forth. But it's a really, really hard problem just from a tactical standpoint to do this conclusively and to do it in such a way that energy can continue to flow, and conversely, that Iran can't get off a shot.
In this day and age where we have this type of military activity on both sides, especially as technology continues to improve, when you talk about drones, does this mean that when you look at military action and that we could see longer wars because it would be more difficult to take some of these drones down? We don't know how many they have. Technology has just really, I think, changed the game.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. The function of the drone here is it's not only that they have a lot of them, it's also that it's very cheap to produce. So it's not nearly as sophisticated as some of the upper end missiles or some of the munition that we're using, but it's good enough to get the job done. And because it's cheap enough, they can produce a lot of them, and it's hard for us to destroy their manufacturing base. I should also note, though, I think just it's important for your audience to sort of step back for a moment, is that air wars in particular historically take a lot of time. Even when we were going after the Islamic State, right, which has nowhere near the military capabilities that the Iranian regime took, it took us 5 years of intensive bombing before the Islamic State was no more. So this can last for a while, and that's a function of technology. It's a function of the stakes at hand for the Iranians. It's the unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in.
One more question for you here, and then we've got to let you go. This cycle, I think, has got to be so frustrating, at least in this country. You don't know how much the Iranian people even know or understand what's going on within the power structure. But they want to make a deal. We're going to sit down and talk. Hey, we have a deal. And then some people who are hardliners in the IRGC say, oh, no, you don't. We'll do this. We'll do that type of a thing. So is it even within the realm of possibility that you could start to pull in those people and make them part of these negotiations, get buy-in for whatever it is they really want? I'm talking about the IRGC or the hardliners, of which there are a lot of them in Iran, so that a deal, if it's agreed to, actually has all parties.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head in terms of the problem with negotiations. The problem is that we're negotiating with particularly the political leadership, which tend to have a more open stance towards negotiation, whereas those in the military, those in the IRGC in particular, have a much harder line in terms of negotiations and what they're willing to give up. The problem with trying to bring in the IRGC into negotiations, and the challenge we're going to face, is that I think in the mind of many of the IRGC leaders, they think that they're winning, and they think that they have time on their hands. They don't think that the United States has the stomach for a long fight. By contrast, they stand a lot to lose, both domestically, but also in terms of Iran's regional proposition if they give up too much. So as a result, I think it's going to be hard to get those hardliners to agree to any sort of deal that, from the United States' standpoint, that we think we would find acceptable.
Raphael Cohen joining us today, military intelligence expert. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Raphael.
So, Celeste, the president gave a speech last night.
He did.
It was prime time. And now the question this morning is, he talked about Iran and he said we are making progress.
Yes.
But that was not the main focus. The main focus, of course, was election security, election integrity. And so here is today's poll question. What do you think?
So how should the U.S. handle recent claims of foreign interference in election infrastructure? 81% of you right now voting, these are mainly our television voters, say pass the SAVE Act immediately to mandate strict voter ID nationwide. Many of you voting to really cohesively yesterday along this same line. Let's take a look at your YouTube numbers as well this morning. 622 votes in at this hour. Right now, 57% say pass the SAVE Act immediately to mandate strict voter ID nationwide. We posted this about 49 minutes ago. I think a lot of people, and share your thoughts in the chat as well this morning. People are also talking about the fact that there are a couple of networks that did not run the presidential speech.
We could go down that hole as well.
Hey, Dave, what are your thoughts? No.
It's a complicated issue.
Yeah, you only run one network around here, Dave. What do you see for comments, though?
A lot of really interesting comments. People are fired up about this one. Fox10phoenix.com/poll, as well as YouTube if you want to weigh in. David Nunyabiz says, pretty sure that in all 50 states you already have to show your driver's license to vote. You don't just walk in and cast your vote. Existing laws and oversight is adequate. R.W. Hunt 99 says the SAVE Act is a voter suppression move, or Trump would not even comment on it. We have safe, fair elections because we have many safeguards in place, and they work. And Alexander Shuro 4295 says the SAVE Act is a clear overreach and is clearly voter suppression, attacking states' rights, and seeks to invade the privacy of the voters. Really interesting comments. Keep them coming, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, Celeste, shall we get to this mystery cam?
Let's do it. So this is your mystery camera. Throw your guesses in the chat. We'll be right back.
You know, we always give you a preview at a quarter after, and then we ask for your guesses here at 10:30 on the Mystery Cam. I feel like it's gotten a little smokier since we first showed you the picture 15 minutes ago. We all know what's going on. Apparently, there are about 100 fires burning in Canada. And I don't know if the U.S. needs to maybe lend some support or some know-how or whatever, but it's impacting our country dramatically.
It really is, especially for folks up in the northern portion of the United States and through the Northeast. We had an image coming in from New York.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, people were wearing face masks,
Gosh, yes.
Just because it's so smoky.
Well, I mean, we were talking yesterday about how if you get up to about 200 particulates, it's kind of up into the danger zone, and there are places way over 1,000.
Yeah.
You know, and so let's see, we have Wisconsin from, who's that? Radar AZ. Okay. Welcome, Radar AZ.
Okay, bring it, Radar.
Thomas Favola says we are way off base. It's not even here in the U.S. It's in Transylvania.
Let's see. We got a Tennessee from Paul Humphrey.
Yeah.
Michigan from Louis Gonzalez.
And Dave's Camping Adventure is thinking it's got to be Minnesota because they're the hardest hit.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
I think
bad
someone
that
earlier
way.
was thinking like an Idaho or something like that.
Really? All right.
What are you going to go with, Ron?
I think it could very easily be a Minnesota or a Michigan. I do think that I saw some pictures from Michigan yesterday.
Yeah.
That the Big Mac Bridge going out to Mackinac. I mean, it just disappears into nowhere. So I think I'm going to go Michigan. How about you?
Okay. I'll go with Wisconsin.
Dean alerted me that the camera that he normally, or the printer that he normally uses is not functional.
That's why we've had handwritten responses.
So wait a sec. Go ahead. Open it up. Do I see handwriting here or printing?
Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
It is Michigan. Nice.
Yeah.
Can you see
it's
that?
handwritten.
I don't know. Yeah, we can't really zoom in on that too
I don't know,
tight,
but maybe he's pretty good handwriting. I'm sure he passed second grade with flying colors.
All right. So, hey, we have to just keep talking about our rain situation here. Crystal joined us off the top. If you want to scrub back, if you just are joining us now and you want to scrub back to the top of the 10 a.m., there have been cells moving across the city. And this was about maybe an hour ago, a little more than an hour ago, as we flew Skyfox over town. And this is one of the hardest areas in the world to forecast the weather, because when you have 5 million people living in a broad desert valley like this, you know, some people probably she was saying there was one gauge yesterday overnight that got 2.5 inches of rain, and other people got a trace.
Yes.
So, but most of the city has really been getting hammered, and so keep an eye out. What we need is we need more days like this. A ton of moisture, but no lightning, thunder, and devastating winds.
Can we put that in the suggestion box for Mother Nature, please? But yeah, and I think we need it a little bit at a time instead of just like all in one downpour.
Yeah.
And so I was driving up and we talked about this top of the hour, but with Crystal, like North Scottsdale had some rain yesterday. And so you have some saturated roads out there, and then a lot of the other parts of the state are getting it as well. But we're going to stay up in the North Phoenix area. So this is Cave Creek, Taylor Williams, Joe Max, and Tatum.
Then she goes out front. Do you see that?
Yes.
She goes out onto the sidewalk and says, "Whoa, there went one of my cacti."
I know. And we just had
Yikes.
this story about saguaros dying with the heat. And unfortunately, then we have so much rain, it takes this guy down.
Isn't it incredible?
Wow.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to get out of the drought, but I can say that, this is video. This is interesting because I was outside last night and just looking off toward that direction of Saguaro Lake. It was like lightnings, bolt after bolt after bolt. I'm saying viewing it, 20 miles away from Mesa, out in Sun Lakes. Spectacular from Janet. Janet, thanks for firing up your phone and getting these pics.
Oh my gosh, look at this from Sun Lakes, Arizona.
Yeah.
Great sunset. And then this right here, Sherry from Apache Junction. There's so many beautiful homes and neighborhoods out in Apache Junction.
Yeah.
This is about 6:51 last night. This right here, I wonder if it looks so much like a microburst or something when you look at it from this angle.
Austin, that might be the pick of the day right there. We've had some great ones just over the last couple of days. And frankly, you know what? When how about this? The struggle of the American frog.
Apparently, they were making all kinds of noise this morning in AJ.
Oh, I can believe it.
Jeff,
go ahead.
Jeff, our producer at 7 a.m. producer, he lives in AJ.
Okay.
And he said they woke him up. They were chattering all morning.
So when we first moved out to Mesa, Celeste, we were out in an old orange grove. You know, they used to build a lot of homes on those orange groves. And the first time we had a huge monsoon rain, I woke up the next morning to frogs in the swimming pool.
Oh, my God. How many? Okay.
Where's that?
In.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. This is happening right in that Central Avenue area, Dave. Is that right? Just south of downtown?
Yeah.
We only have that one underpass there, and it is really the cell that hit us at about 9:45 has already caused this much flooding.
Yeah, this is Buchanan down just south of downtown Phoenix, not too far from the arena and the ballpark that we have downtown. And there's a look at some. It looks like personnel from the city of Phoenix. There's a truck there, and then Phoenix police to kind of let people know to beware.
Let me just ask, because this is a streaming show, we can kind of do whatever we want to do. Dave, do you know, is this Rick Davis? And can we chat with Rick for a minute? I don't know if he's mic'd up. Yeah, I think that is our Rick Davis.
He was on another, we had him live at our 9 o'clock hour. He was on another situation earlier today in Scottsdale. I think it was 68th Street along the canal. And there was a car that had driven right into the canal. You know, we don't know if it was slippery conditions or what happened, but the person, they had to be rescued. Scottsdale Fire had to rescue them.
We're going to get to Shannon Bream, and then if we can chat with Rick, because he's out there on scene, we'll do that too. But let's get to Shannon right now. This was pretty interesting stuff with her this morning.
Hey, Ron.
So, a rare primetime address from the president. People, of course, wondering if we'll see any changes between now and November. Now, we run a couple of polls on our streaming show, Fox 10 Talks. You've been a guest on there. One's a little more left-leaning, one's a little more right-leaning, but there were big numbers through both of these polls supporting the idea of showing ID to vote. So are we headed toward executive action? Are we headed toward that reconciliation idea or nothing?
Well, you point out rightfully that all the polling shows that most Americans across ideological spectrum and background, all of those different blocks of voters, say that they do approve of voter ID. They think it's a good idea. But the Save America Act has a couple of iterations, and one, yes, is about voter ID and proof of citizenship to register to vote in federal elections. But the other version that's not having much success in the Senate has other things tied to it, like getting rid of most mail-in balloting. It's got some stuff about, treatment for transgender minors and that kind of stuff that, the GOP leadership keeps saying to the president, it's not going anywhere. This version is not going anywhere. But last night's speech seemed aimed very much at putting as much pressure as possible on the Save America Act. Okay, so we'll see how it all unfolds. Would you say, Shannon, that we are, as you look at what's happening with Iran, my understanding was that last night or the night before, there was some actual targeting of bridges, they said, for military purposes around the city of Bandar Abbas. But are we edging closer to full-on military conflict? How deep could it go? What are you hearing? Well, and there are a lot of questions, too, about how much of a stomach the president has for this, knowing that the American people, we've already lost American lives. They don't want boots on the ground. The conflict does not poll well. It's very unpopular. But the president knows that he may have to go to, it gets ugly before it gets better. And that may be where they're at right now. As you talked about this most recent targeting, it seems aimed at the IRGC, which is the problem in the Strait. And as long as they have supplies and reinforcements, they're going to be able to wreak havoc in the Strait. So those strikes in the last couple of nights seemed aimed very much at disrupting their supply routes and their ability to upset the traffic. Okay, so if political leaders are interested in a deal to boost Iran's economy, but the IRGC is not, why aren't the IRGC leaders actually becoming part of these talks? Is that impossible? Yeah, and that's the question. Who's even at these talks? I mean, the Ayatollah, the new one, is he alive? Is he well, mentally, physically? I mean, there are just so many questions about who's actually at the table. But many times it seems there's been a divide with some Iranian leadership saying that they want to move forward with something that looks like an off-ramp or a peace deal, with the IRGC separately saying, nope, we're going to continue wreaking havoc in the Straits. So I'm not sure that the different factions within Iran are on the same page.
Let me squeeze one more in. You would think Arizona, being one of the few states that doesn't change our clocks, we wouldn't care about all of this, but we do. Will we be on the same time as Seattle and California year-round? Or are we going to be like on time with Utah and New Mexico? We really wonder, what's the latest? Is it going to pass?
Well, it sounds like more than I've ever heard in the past few years that this is actually moving toward possibly getting to the president's desk and getting signed. They do this every year, but this year it seems like people are on the same page and they actually want to get it done. So we'll see. Listen, Save America Act's president's top priority, but daylight savings time may end up on his desk too.
Okay. So, can we still hear Shannon?
I don't know, Ron, but let's just listen to you for a second, too. You look great. Let's just leave this on and check you guys out.
Can you guys hear Shannon still? No? All right. I don't know what happened.
I'm trying to. Is my mic on?
Yeah. Right here. There you go.
I can't hear myself, but anyway.
Oh, I think we might be having a problem. But it happens every time it rains, so nobody panic.
Well, I talk to myself all the time.
You
so,
know what,
can I
Celeste?
hear myself? What's
I'm
happening?
not panicked. Are you panicked?
I'm not panicked.
Let's go to Big D and see
Hello?
if he looks
Hello?
panicked.
Hello?
He is not. Oh, yikes. Okay. Well, we got to do something to
Don't
calm.
cry.
Oh,
I changed my mic.
yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
better.
Okay, so anyway, Celeste, the last question there was about daylight savings time.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you want them to change the way it is now? I mean,
Yeah.
the spring ahead, fall back situation. I would like to be on California, Seattle time all year round.
Yeah,
How about you?
we have Dave's mic is still up, by the way, Brian.
okay, super.
I mean, he doesn't usually curse, so we're good to go. Dave is a cool guy. He's cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I guess being on California and Seattle time would be okay.
I guess there's a possibility we could go on Utah, New Mexico time year round.
We could.
I like being earlier compared to the East Coast.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You want to know why?
Why is that?
For Monday Night Football.
Oh, yes. It always comes back to football, which is a good thing.
Millions of football fans. We want our games at 5:30. We don't want to wait till 6:30.
You know, I know, and a lot of people are chiming in. They're like, why are our nation's leaders even talking about this?
Yeah.
We've done it before in the past, and they don't think it's going to pass, but you never know.
Really?
We got to hit a break real quick. 10:42 this morning. Here's a quick glance at
Chicago.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
Clearing up a little. Here comes one.
We're going to do a little test-a-rooski.
Hello, everybody on
they
YouTube.
Fixed it.
We're
They
testing our mics.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Okay, bye for now. All right, we're happy to say the skies are clearing a little bit in Chicago, but boy, Celeste, I think come Sunday in New York when everybody's going to be gathering for the final match, it could be a smoky situation.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's go ahead and show you a live look here of the valley. This is, this is live. This is our tower cam high above South Mountain, right in the center of the Phoenix metro area, and we are just surrounded by clouds and some storm cells, and we're getting lots of rain, Ron.
You know what's cool about it is you can just see it move. There's a ridge about 1,000 feet lower than where our tower is up there on South Mountain, and occasionally it would be just to the right of the word talks, and occasionally it will pop up and you'll see it for a second because these clouds are moving kind of fast. And then it just disappears into the fog. What a crazy situation today.
No kidding. You know, we were just talking before the break, Ron, about daylight saving time.
Yeah.
Thomas Brown has an interesting comment. He says this wanting to stay daylight saving time is tied to all these data centers.
Really?
Trust me on this, he says. That's so. If you want to dig into the details, it looks like these storm clouds are moving. By the way,
look at that! You can see the ridge totally now. I mean, that's how fast it's moving.
There's a road that'll take you all the way up there, Ron.
Yes,
and
indeed.
There's a lot of necking going on up in that part of South Mountain, I hear.
That's the parking spot, Celeste?
That's what I hear.
See, I didn't go to high school here. I don't know all the deets on that type of thing, but hey. We're always...
It's a dark spot up on top of the mountain. Oh, hey, guess what? We do have photojournalist Rick Davis with us.
Okay.
Do we want to go back to that, Ron?
I'm probably going to need that one on ENG 21 too, Brian. But yeah, Rick is out there. We have a flooding situation. It doesn't take much, Celeste. I mean, honestly, 10, 12 inches of rainwater in a low-lying area, just like we see right here, and you've got a car stalled out. Hey, Rick, what do you know?
Yeah, Ron, Celeste, it doesn't take much. We're at 17th Avenue in Buchanan, which is just north of Grant, and as you can see, this vehicle, and I'll zoom in a little bit, is stuck under the bridge in the water. There was a heavy downpour less than 5 minutes ago. I was trying to figure out, how I was going to get this and explain what was going on. There was a lady inside, and I'll pull out so you can see the police and the City of Phoenix maintenance people are here. They have her in the vehicle, and she's okay. Everybody's okay, but obviously it's flooded here, and she did the right thing and did not try to cross up under that bridge.
Okay, so she kind of made it halfway, and then that was the end of it. So they got it blocked off both sides, Rick, as far as you know?
Yeah, as far as I know, it is definitely blocked off going to the north on 17th Avenue. As you can see, the City of Phoenix has a water transportation truck out here, and then the lady is, they have her in the back of the police car. I think she's got some family members here to help her out and try and get that car out with no one getting injured.
And maybe she took that road. It's not very long, and she thought, wow, I didn't know it was going to be this deep, right? A lot of times we find ourselves in situations, especially during the monsoon, and it's pretty unpredictable at this point in situations specifically like this.
Oh, absolutely. And she probably took it because I think there may have been a train going by. This is a bridge that supports the train system. So instead of getting stuck by a train at a traffic light, she took this. And but she did the right thing. It looks like some people here are going to try and tow the truck out, or tow the car out. There's a truck here to try and tow the car out. And, we got here a little later when it first happened. You have no idea how deep that water level is. I'll zoom in. You can see on the bridge where the foot level is for how deep it is. And here's a gentleman right here. He's going up to hoist that, try and, get something to pull it out.
Look at this guy, all in a day's work.
Well, let's watch to see what he does here. Hey, Rick, there's a question in the chat for you. And it says, do y'all have like tents or protection for the cameras when you're out and covering the monsoon?
Yeah, well, I've been doing this for a minute, and just to show you.
40 years, yeah.
Yeah. This is my go-to right here in deep water.
Oh, yeah.
Look
the
at
umbrella.
that. Yeah. That's the behind-the-scenes stuff that we like to share.
Yeah. and I put a clamp on there so it's right over the camera. You won't even know it's raining. Don't tell the boss I said that.
Oh, it's now officially approved. Okay, Rick, great stuff. Thank you. And, hopefully this lady, interesting, they do, it looks like maybe just a family member or somebody, it's just a private truck's going to just pull her on out of there. And I'm sure it's an embarrassing situation for her, but hopefully she can get on with her day.
Yeah, Rick Davis, thank you so much, buddy. Little philosophy, great question for Rick, and he was able to answer that. By the way, we have a new chatter in the box. Big P coming through here this morning. We want to welcome you to the friendliest chat on YouTube this morning, and I think a lot of people in the chat are welcoming you as well, so it's good to have you.
What is that? Big P and then F8S? Am I seeing that? FBS? Something like that?
F8S?
Okay.
I think.
Big P, you can tell us all about your name, and you can also tell us where you're from. Celeste, did you know, would it shock you? I think it wouldn't shock you if I told you it's World Emoji Day.
Whoa.
From
Gila
Gila
River.
River area.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, look at all these emojis on the screen. Now, why are we showing you all these emojis? Well,
Right.
let's just start with this. Is this... Dave, this is you, I think. Is this?
Are you using those stickers?
Is that your emoji? Tell us about it.
Here, we're blocking the lovely Abby.
Hey, Abs.
But yeah, no, you can see on the bottom row, there's a little emoji of me.
Oh, okay. I got to start sending Dave emojis in my family chat.
So this is the request from Ron for all of you who are watching today. Ron said, "Can you send us your most used emojis? Like when you click on the emoji icon and then you're adding this to like a text or something."
And so we'll see if there are any worth mocking here before we move on. Dave, what is? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 over. And 1 down. What is happening there, Dave? What is that?
Which one is it?
1, 2, 3, 4 over and 1
yeah,
down.
somebody has a butt showing.
That's funny. Let me see.
Oh, here's
Emoji.
Dave. I had no idea that was in my phone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know, these are the things you find out on live TV.
This is what works on YouTube. This is why it works on YouTube.
This is what happens when you watch Fox 10 Talks, people.
I'm actually loving the fencing emoji. I think that we need to bring fencing back, Ron.
Sure, yeah.
More fencing segments, please.
All right, let's see. I think we have Abby. Abs, is this you here?
Yes, that's mine.
Okay, walk us through some of these. Let's see, Celeste, which one do we want to...
I want to talk about the orangutan that I see on the far right.
Yeah, what was happening in that text?
Sometimes I like to say really serious things and then add a funny emoji at the end to make it a little less serious.
Okay.
So just add a little comedic relief, you know. So
Yeah.
I can't actually remember specifically what I said, but it probably was me making fun of myself.
Okay.
I like it. That's my favorite animal. I did a 3rd grade project on the orangutan, and I still remember that. They're really actually just fascinating animals.
How about the one, what is with the scary face emoji that looks like it's like from an ancient civilization?
That's like an angry face.
Yeah,
I definitely
demon.
used that when I was upset about something.
Oh, it's a demon, Celeste says. No more of those demon texts, please.
And where are you doing handstands? Is that like in the park out?
So a little bit of calling someone out here. Someone told me that I was bent out of shape, meaning, I don't know if you guys have heard this. I had to look it up because I've never used that term, but meaning like you're crazy, you're acting crazy. So I sent back me doing a cartwheel, because is that what you mean?
I hope you dumped him, Abby.
Yeah. I just love that you've managed to get through, 25 years of life and nobody's ever said, don't get bent out of shape.
Yeah, I've never been told that. So I guess this being the first time was a compliment. So.
Oh, that's great.
All right, let's go back to these other ones here. So, Celeste, one of these is mine and one of these is your. Okay, so left is me. Upper left and upper right is yours. Tell us about one or two of the. Look at happy, heart, laughing, heart, touchdown, praying. It's all positive with you, Celeste. I love it.
And I like the happy birthday, the coffee emoji. And I send the kiss emoji to my husband.
Is that right?
The lips, yeah.
Okay, now what's with the kumquat over? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over and 4 down. What's with that? Or wait, that's actually an eggplant.
Yeah, because I like eggplant with marinara, Ron.
Oh.
Yeah, you know,
okay.
you lightly breaded.
Ah,
You know,
nice.
it's like a dinner.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's actually, it could be a fruit. An eggplant could be a fruit.
Okay. And I also love going one over from the eggplant and then one up. What were you like in the frozen food aisle at Costco? Where's it cold?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned this because I put up a reel in Costco.
Okay.
I was hanging out in the produce fridge area at Costco.
Oh, that's the place to be this time of year.
On a hot day, where else you want to be?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Do I have any worth explaining?
Let's see, Ron.
here?
Okay, tell us more about first row and third down. What's happening? Is it
all of those, all three of those, Celeste. The it figures face, which is up first. The I don't even know what emotion to express, and then give me a break or whatever.
Is that the
was.
alien, like an alien face?
You know what that was all from? That was from yesterday's Wordle.
Oh.
Which was hardly a word. I mean, it's barely a word. Do you play Wordle every day?
And I haven't in a while.
Dave, do you play Wordle?
Yes.
Dave, did you catch that word a couple days ago? Pshaw.
Oh my God. That's
Pshaw is a word. P-S-H-A-W.
Oh my gosh.
Wordle makes its own rules. Who knows?
So there was. Believe me, there's been
Brian,
a lot
what's
of.
happening with my camera?
You only get to see Dave for about 2 more seconds.
That was funny.
Okay, what emoji would we use for that moment right
Yeah,
there? It'd be like,
okay,
you know what it would be? The emoji that I like is the eyes. See the eyes?
Yeah.
We're like,
Well, there was a guy that went online and said, "Hey, look, Wordle headquarters. Quit with words that are barely words. Barely word. I mean, you can find it in the dictionary if you think, if you want to go look for it. Pshaw. I haven't heard anybody say pshaw until my best buddy in junior high school, his mother used to say pshaw. It's been
pshaw.
50 years.
Is that kind of like psh?
Sorta.
Yeah.
But even worse.
What about the guy drowning, Ron? You have 5 seconds.
Guy drowning. Where? Oh, that's like when your brain is like, I
fried.
give up. I think that was also pshaw.
You know what, though? We never give up here on Fox 10 Talks, Ron. We've got you covered. We got Ty and Anita up next, and more storm coverage as well. Thanks for hanging with us on a Friday. See you on Monday, everyone.
Welcome on in. We're going to keep things rolling now at 11 o'clock right here on Fox 10 Talks.
Welcome in, everyone. It's been a nice, rainy, very, very active weather day. So, of course, we've got a couple of shots for you all around town. What time? I woke up at 10:15.
Last night.
Yes, last night. Thank you. Clap of thunder.
Oh.
And was up for about an hour listening to the storm.
But this is a live look from our South Mountain Tower cam. You usually can see the valley. You can see the mountains to the north, and you can't see anything on this Friday afternoon. We've been kind of hit back and forth with all of these storms. So we have Crystal in. She's going to show us what's going on because it's been really active out there, hasn't it?
It has been, yes. You know, like a week ago when we were talking about our storm chances, we said that Thursday and Friday was looking to be the hot spot. And, it has been, right? We saw a really good tick of rain overnight for the eastern and then the northern portions of the valley. So like North Scottsdale up to Cave Creek, Fountain Hills, over to Apache Junction, and Mesa as well, all had pretty big rain totals. But there were some parts of the valley that, other than like some light to steady rain, didn't get a ton overnight. They have been getting that this morning. So everybody had their turn. Take a look. This is a live view from now. Yeah, 17 in Durango Curve, where the rain was actually coming down heavier when I popped this camera up like 5 minutes ago. I think it was 10:55 when I popped this camera up. And already it's calmed down a little, as is the nature of the monsoon. You know what's funny is Annalise said this is her first monsoon season with us. And she was on air saying, it's like I'll drive a few feet and it's really heavy. And then we drive a few more feet and it's light again. And that truly is how the monsoon is. It's like, welcome to the monsoon season, right? So right now, still very soggy roads there, and then still coming down quite steadily over Interstate 10 Wild Horse Pass. So as we're in the Chandler area, kind of starting to head out of town down towards Pinal County, the rain's still coming down quite good there too. And if we look, it's really impacted our temperatures across the state. The areas with the rain right now are in the 70s still, like Phoenix, 78, Casa Grande, 75. But the spots that have not had much, look at Yuma, it's almost 100. So that's where we would be if we hadn't had the rain today. We would already be warming up to around 100 degrees. Instead, we're going to struggle to make it to 90 degrees today, it looks like, because of the clouds and rain that's lingering. So here's the view on Fox Vision of where everything is currently moving through. We've got a lot of clouds. And then, of course, we've got the moisture that's slicing through, like the intersection between Yavapai and Gila, and then draw a line right down, right? Through the valley, through Pinal County, through Pima County. We've got all that rain that's driving through. The good news is this is beneficial rain. So the deeper green is like a light edging on steady, and then the yellow is a nice steady rain. The orange is a little bit briefly heavier rain, but it's usually the deep reds and pinks that you're like, oh, okay, that's problematic rain that could really create some issues. The only issues we are seeing in like pockets is some street ponding. I don't even know if I'd go as far as saying it's like really flooding issues, but some ponding out there because the rain's been falling the same general areas on and off throughout the morning. So there is some of that going on. But I mean, overall, we can use the rain, and we have certainly been seeing it. So let's take a tour of where the showers are moving through right now. This is from just along that like south edge of downtown Phoenix, really as you're going into South Phoenix, over South Mountain, into Ahwatukee, and then down Interstate 10, as I mentioned, into Pinal County. So like Sun Lake's getting a good clip, parts of Chandler getting a good clip, a little bit of Tempe, like South Tempe getting a pretty steady rain as well. And then over to the East Valley, we are seeing like Santan Valley out towards Queen Creek with these showery conditions. And then I switched over to a different radar, by the way, because I wanted to be able to see where the radar is. If I go back one, do you see how it looks all spiny near Queen Creek? It's like, hey, what's happening there? Well, it's because the radar dome is out there. And so immediately next to the radar dome, your radar data is not good, right? Because it's just starting to shoot off the ground. So that's why it looks so weird and why it looks like there's a big hole in Queen Creek. That's just where the radar dome is. So that's why I swapped over to a different radar shot. This is higher in the clouds, but at least we can see where the rain is passing by. Queen Creek, Chandler, and portions of the East Valley as well. And then moving off farther to the southeast, we have a few showers. Then I wanted to go up to the high country because there is this flash flood warning for Moncopie, I think is how Celeste told me to say it. Do you guys know? Is it Moncopie?
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
This is the Moncopie Wash, and in the village of Moncopie, that there is a flash flood warning in place because they've already crested above what's considered flood stage. So there are some like homes in the village that are starting to flood. This is near Tuba City. If you know someone up there, you've got like friends or family, or if you are watching from that area, obviously just a heads up that this may continue to climb, which is why they put that warning out until 2:15 this afternoon. Now, I will say that, we use our models to supplement our forecasting. It's not the only thing we use, and one of the reasons is sometimes the models struggle with storms, and the models have not been doing a great job with the wet weather overnight. So I've been trying to bobble around between different models, but I've also been manipulating them behind the scenes, meaning I've been like moving the data left or right or up or down or intensifying it to kind of match what we're actually seeing happen. So this is where the storms are currently, roughly. And this model does keep the storms lingering as we go midday and even early afternoon, say between like 2 and 4, finally diminishing these scattered showers, keeping the clouds around through the evening hours, which is why the temperature will struggle to even make it to around those like low 90s, middle 90s if we get some breaks in sun. And that's going to be the difference. If we do get the clouds breaking a little bit, you'll get a little bit of sunshine. And then otherwise overnight, this model does start to give one more round overnight into early tomorrow morning. A little questionable if we'll be able to get it because we're getting so much now, but there's at least a chance. We'll put it about a 20% chance, guys. And then over the weekend, the chances kind of start to turn more limited during the day. I think it'll be fairly dry. In the valley, high country will see some more storms this weekend.
I like the rainy day.
Yeah, I do too.
While Crystal's here, do you want to pop up that video? This is about 10:30 this morning. We had, I think it's that first one. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think that's the dogs. I don't think we have the video in just yet.
Okay, well, we were waiting on a car going through some flooded water.
Oh, okay,
It was right in the downtown area, if you're familiar. It's
I
like
heard
kind of
back
that
in the news.
Buchanan area.
Yes,
Just
710
near
to
the-
wash out kind of
Yes.
easily. Washes
Yeah.
out easily and then drains kind of easily as well. And
So we had a car that was stuck down there. And so
Okay.
they were pulling out the disabled vehicle as we speak. So that was what was happening
got it.
earlier.
And
Well, I was going to say that in the last 3 hours, they were reporting downtown Phoenix received 1/3 of an inch of rainfall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's all it takes to make those low-lying
start to
areas.
pond out.
Yeah.
Well,
be
I'll pull the
impassable.
latest Maricopa County Flood Control District numbers for the noon show. and
Okay.
we'll walk through all those so we can look at how much rain we've picked up so far. But it's been a pretty big week for us.
Yeah, it really
we'll probably
has.
have that video at noon as well. Thank you. Appreciate
All right,
you.
Crystal, thank you. All right, this is what you are reading. These are the top 3 web stories that are on our website as we speak. And this is the first one. And we talked about this one yesterday at length. This was kind of a crazy scene. This happened Monday, the In-N-Out. There was a brawl at Tempe. I guess there was a big storm that was approaching from Monday night. So folks kind of all went in there and there was some sort of fight that broke out. And the video just kind of speaks for itself how crazy it was there.
By the time PD arrived, everyone who was involved took off. So they're asking anyone who was in that area, give them a call. Family discovers photo of themselves. I've seen this all over social media in San Diego at an Airbnb. They're calling it insane. They're staying at this Airbnb. There's this big framed photo, as you can see to the left of your screen. After comparing all the people in the images, they realized it was actually of the family from a past beach outing. They were able to identify themselves.
Isn't that
so they're
funny?
still baffled as to who took the photo, how it ended up there.
And what are the odds that you go check into this Airbnb and they just so happen to have that random photo with you in it?
Have you seen this video?
No, I need to go watch
I
this.
watched it and I thought it was very interesting that they were able to identify themselves.
Right?
Because it's from such a distance.
Oh, that's funny. And then last but not least, Arizona painters arrested in a $40,000 paint theft ring. They're blaming low wages for the crime, but this is all out of Goodyear. Investigators used Apple AirTags hidden inside of a paint bucket and flock cameras to track the suspects and their cars, but they got away with $40,000 worth of theft.
I know we're getting rain and that heat not as brutal today, but we've got a 111 on the 10-day forecast, and it's inevitable. It'll be back. So we wanted to chat with Dr. Janelle Romero, as she is a physician with Healthy You Clinics. Hi. Welcome. Thank you. Talking a little bit about just, I guess, surviving the heat, getting through this.
Yeah. Fortunately, today it's been a little nice. We
I
don't
know,
have
right?
to
Yeah,
deal
we're
with
all
the
a
heat
little
today.
reprieve.
We're all really
it's
grateful
been a
for
nice
that.
break. Yeah.
So what can we do? Because, I mean, obviously, we're from Arizona. We live through it. But sometimes it really does creep up on you. And sometimes if you don't have enough water, I think is the biggest one, that dehydration really sneaks up on you.
Right. Yeah. I think the important thing to consider is that if you're going to be planning on spending a lot of time outdoors, to make sure that you're acclimated to being in the heat. So it usually takes about 10 to 14 days for your body to get acclimated to being outdoors. So the recommendation is to just slowly increase your time outdoors by about 1 hour each day until you're more comfortable with it, making sure that you're hydrated as well during that time.
I know a lot of people say avoid it. Don't go hiking. Don't go to the store in the middle of the afternoon. But sometimes you can't. We have many people who work out in the heat. They have to go to work. Sometimes you don't have a choice as to stop at the store or drive to work. That's when it gets a little bit tough, and that's when you have to be smart about it.
Yeah. In a perfect world, we want want to avoid being outdoors between the times of 10 and 4 when it's the hottest outside.
Hide at home.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
Can you write me a note?
Right?
Sure, yeah.
Janelle, can you walk us through kind of the difference between heat stroke and
heat exhaustion?
Yes, thank you. I was like,
yeah.
there's another one, heat
Yeah.
exhaustion. Because
Yeah.
what are the difference?
So heat
Is
exhaustion.
one more serious than the other?
Yes, heat exhaustion is a more mild form of a heat-related illness, and heat stroke is much more serious. So heat exhaustion is usually the signs and symptoms of that might be a headache, some sweating, nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, fatigue. The signs of heat stroke can be more serious, and those are going to be those other signs or symptoms plus altered mental status. So that's going to be confusion, delirium, slurred speech. Maybe in children it presents as irritability, and so heat stroke can be life-threatening, whereas heat exhaustion isn't always life-threatening.
Now, do you start at heat exhaustion, and then if you don't take care of yourself, you get to heat stroke? Is that what happens?
So that's why it's really important to understand those warning signs so that we can prevent heat stroke. Once you get heat stroke, there's up to an 80% risk of mortality for heat stroke. So it's definitely a big deal.
Someone once told me, and I have experienced what I think is heat stroke, maybe many of the symptoms, just being out on the field, to be honest with you. And I think this is true, but someone has told me that once you experience heat stroke, you will continue to experience that when you're in those elements. So I feel like when I'm out in the sun for too long of a period of time, it doesn't matter if I have water, if I'm in that direct sun, I start feeling that weakness.
Yeah, it's important to be extra careful, and maybe if you know you're going to be outside for a long period of time, using not just water, but some like a sports drink that has that sodium and electrolytes can also help to make it easier for you to stay hydrated, because the sodium's needed for your body to absorb that water.
Yeah.
You got to get those electrolytes.
You know it. Very important.
Janelle, where can folks find you if they have more questions or concerns?
Yeah, I work for Healthy You Clinics. They can find me. We have multiple locations throughout the valley, and they go to healthyyouclinics.com to find more information.
Thank you. Good info.
Appreciate
We
you coming in.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Before we head to break,
It is our favorite time of the morning. What year was it? Here is the question. This one I feel like might be hard. I feel like on Fridays, Dave picks a extra harder question. What? A first color TV goes on sale. What year?
wow. Look at him giggling over there like a
I
child.
have no idea. I'm going to say early 40s. I literally have
40s?
I don't know.
Color?
Color TV?
I'm going to say something like 71.
No, I don't.
Color?
When what's that movie, The Wizard of Oz? Wasn't that like one of the first color movies?
That was in black and white, and then they colorized it.
No, it's not.
Really? Oh my gosh.
All right, welcome back. This question's really stumped us all.
Well, I didn't think that we were as advanced as we were.
So
I guess
the question is,
I guess 1971.
the first color TV goes on sale. I thought it was when was like the first color TV made.
Yeah, well, that would be different. So the answer to the question is, and we have a couple of guesses. Oh, see, this says 54. When you Google it, it says December of 1953.
But December 30th, that's close.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
close enough to 54.
I agree. But you say what year was the first color TV made? Let's look at that.
Because then I Googled The Wizard of Oz, and
Oh.
it says The Wizard of Oz, which came out in 1939, was filmed in vibrant color using 3-strip Technicolor. The iconic opening and closing scenes set in Kansas were actually shot in black and white, while the scenes in the magical land of Oz were captured in full, brilliant color. So now I'm confused. So they filmed it in color, but they couldn't see it in color until
Correct,
54?
because there was no color TV.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
We need like a... Dave, can you
can we
find
get a
like a movie?
historian?
Yeah, can you find a movie historian for us for next week?
But Josh guessed 1928. We have a 1951, a 1952, a 1950, 1965, 1985. I'm with you, Little Philosophy 80. I know, right? Good guesses, you guys. We love that you're playing along. Thank you so much.
That was a hard one, Dave. That was a really hard one. How about an easy one for Monday, will ya?
You guessed right on all of them this week, though. You did really well.
I did okay yesterday, but okay. Well, that was a hard one. All right, moving along. You, dog lover.
I'm a dog lover.
Me, dog lover.
You've actually, almost all of your pups have been adopted from rescues.
The shelters. We
Yeah.
love adopting shelter
Murdy
dogs.
is a very special dog.
She's a very special girl. She sure
How'd she
is.
do last night?
You know what? Well, we both slept through it. Knock on
Really?
wood,
Murdy
yeah.
slept without medication?
No, she didn't need her trazodone for
Whoa,
once.
Murdy. I have a lot of extra, by the way, if you need any.
good.
I don't like that stuff.
But we have two guests up in the high country here this morning. They're doing something great to give back to our community in a big way. We have Zack Stoll. He is the head brewer. Raise your hand, Zack.
Which one's Zach?
Zach, there you are. And then we have Doug. He is the co-founder of Dr. Kelly's. There you are.
Raise
Good
your
morning.
hand, Doug. Raise it high. Just
It's
in
like
case
school.
we get confused.
Roll call. All right, so Doug, I want to start with you. Can you just talk to us about what you guys do?
So Dr. Kelly's, we have 7 locations across Arizona. We do affordable surgical care for dogs and cats. We specialize in doing soft tissue surgery, spays, neuters, dentals, mass removals. We've been around for 10 years. At this point, we do about 25,000 surgeries a year.
Oh my gosh.
Over 300,000 surgeries since we've opened. And our angle is just to provide options for people who have pets, and when those type of surgeries hit a high number when they go to regular general practice, our surgical specialists or surgical experts take care of those.
Yeah, that's key, right? You call it, you said it's affordable, and we've been and have pets. So we know it can get very, very pricey, but you love your animals. And then, of course, all the ones that need adopted need help as well. So you can't do this alone.
No, we partner with rescues all over Arizona, hundreds of them, in an effort to provide those resources to adoptable pets when needed.
So, Zach, this is where you come into this story. You are the head brewer up there at the Historic Brewing Company in Flagstaff, and you guys decided to do what to help out? Oops, Zach, you might be muted.
Are you muted, Zach? Just raise your hand again.
There we go.
Well, we can't hear you. It mimight be on our end. It happens.
Well, Doug, why don't we just kind of we'll go back to you,
Your
Doug,
turn,
while
Doug.
while he figures it out.
Sure.
Just what does this mean that you have someone like them kind of helping you guys out? And obviously, as Anita mentioned, this is not cheap to do.
No, and Zach and Historic Brewing have been a phenomenal partner. As I understand it, Historic has been around about 13 years, brewing a great beer in the northern Arizona area. Has had what they do, community brews, where they partner with different nonprofit organizations over the last 12 years, dozens and dozens of them. They create a special beer and partner opportunity, kind of like the one we did with Dog Days and in the wit beer they provided for us. And then a small portion of the proceeds of those beers go to those charitable organizations. We just happen to be lucky. They have an angle for animals on this one, and we got to partner with them. Zach and Historic have been phenomenal. They brew great beer.
I love
Awesome.
it. Zach, do we have you now?
Do you have me yet?
Oh, we got you. Yay.
All
Sorry
right,
about that, Zach.
Raise those hands high. Tell us how long you've been doing this and why you decided to do it in the first place.
So we've been trying to give back to the community since we started here. It's not just making beer historic, it's being part of our community, and the best way to be part of it is to also give back. So I've been here for 12 years, and Historic has been here for 13 years, and we've been doing different types of community brews for the entire time almost.
So how do folks come and help you guys out? Obviously, this is like a win-win because you're helping animals, but you're also getting some delicious brew from a local brewery.
That's right. So with all the sales of this beer, 10% of it is going to go back to be able to help out with those surgeries and whatnot. And we're having our big event this Saturday up here. We're going to have some raffles, live music, and people can come hang out, chill, eat some food, and drink some delicious beer. And the more you drink, the more we get back.
Is it called Dr. Kelly's beer? Is that what it's called?
No, so it's the Dog Days wit beer.
Okay.
Because we call our event the Dog Days of Summer. So we bring in hot dogs. We have a bite dog demonstration, puppy adoptions from the local animal shelter here. So we try to bring it all together.
So describe this brew. Are we talking something a little darker, a little lighter? I don't know a lot about beer, but sell me.
Yeah. It's definitely a lighter beer, so it's a Belgian wit beer. So it is a wheat beer with some of that Belgian flair to it. So it's got a little bit of almost like cardamom clove type spiciness to it, but it's still not too much. It's very easy drinking, quite refreshing still, but it's just a fun summer beer.
Oh, yeah, I bet. This must be fun for you to kind of, I guess, experiment, not experiment because you're putting this out there, but you know what I mean? Coming up with a new recipe to try like this.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing this for quite a while, so I have a good idea of what I want to go for, but I always throw in a little bit something different just to see how it goes. And it's the creation of these different beers that keeps me going and excited about it. And it's even better when I get to do something that gives back, something I care about.
Yeah,
so do people come in and then you're going to pour them this beer, or are you going to have cans of it as well available to take to go?
Both. So we have it here on tap. You can get growlers if you so choose, but we also have 4 packs of 16-ounce beers. You can come by any of our historic locations in northern Arizona to purchase, and all that 10% of those proceeds will be going back.
All right. Now, if we can't make it up to Flagstaff, if we're down here in the valley or we still want to support you, how are we able to give back so we can help Dr. Kelly's?
If you can't make it up to Flagstaff up here or Williams with our other locations to buy it, best way is to give directly back to the Dr. Kelly's fund if you can't drink the beer.
I do think that we need another beer called Dr. Kelly's, though.
Yes.
I think next year we should have 2 options.
Dr. Kelly's special elixir?
I really do think that we should have that.
And Doug, how can folks, what is that website if folks wanted to help you guys out if they can't make it up to Flagstaff or Williams?
Fair enough. It's Dr. Kelly's Vet, DrKellysVet.com. There is an opportunity to donate on, kind of scroll down to the front page a little bit. You'll see it there. The name of the program is called PAL Fund, which is a nonprofit that lives below kind of Dr. Kelly's. We use that money to subsidize, pay for, provide surgical services for people that just need either taken care of because it's an absolute emergency, sometime life or death, or to bridge the gap between what they have in their pocket and what their pet actually needs. It just provides that stopgap opportunity. We use that fund also to give back to charities, including pet rescues, and in this case, High Country Humane, and would extend to Coconino. And so our same thing with Historic Brewing is created community awareness, community opportunity, give back to the community. Pets are 70% of the owners in Arizona have a pet. We all have pets, and we just love being able to take care of them as best we can.
Yeah, thank you guys both so much for what you're doing. We'll make sure to put all that info up so people can help out.
It'll be fun up there this weekend for sure.
And cooler.
Yeah, much cooler, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Have fun. Good luck.
Thanks, guys. All right, you want to do some what's trending here this morning?
Yeah, speaking of pets, you want to show video of this cute little puppy?
This was so cute. So this happened over in Surprise. Look at that poor little pup.
It's just a baby.
The little pup was exploring the backyard. And
well, she's very
got
curious.
a little too curious.
Got curious, got her head stuck over there, so the fire department
This
came
is
up
my
and said,
favorite
"I know."
picture right
You're
here.
like, what's wrong? What are you looking at right now? What are you looking at? So as the fire department came out, they had to break the block just a little bit, make the hole a little bit bigger. They tried with the Dawn dish soap because that stuff goes really far. It's good stuff right there.
Look at that. Hopefully she wasn't stuck like that for too long before they were able to get her out. But there she is.
Could you be mad? You couldn't be mad.
No, you can't be mad at all. Are you kidding me?
My goodness.
Look how sweet she is.
Okay, we should try to get her on.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fun?
They
Dave?
did say that the owners were right there, quickly called.
She's fine.
She was fine.
She's good. I mean,
it's a
I don't
happy
panic.
ending, right?
Yeah. You want to talk gas prices really quick?
Sure.
Okay. It's not like a fund.
No,
what's trending,
it's not.
But they're going up again. So they've gone up considerably. Nationwide average is $3.98. Arizona statewide $4.16, and in Phoenix $4.12. So we're above $4 again. I mean, we were all really excited when it was dipping down below $3.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of comments in the chat, and we're being advised to change the rules of the game.
What does Thomas
Put the
want?
question up, and we have to answer within 15 seconds.
But I would like to do that, but we just don't. The timing of the show, sometimes we can't.
Sometimes
do
it takes us 30 seconds to read it.
And we do tell you,
don't
Google. Yeah.
I have to be honest, Googling the question is what I do also.
Oh.
Don't Google Thomas.
And then Joshua says you would have been a good actress.
Oh, why is that, Joshua? I wonder why.
Yeah, I want to know.
I want to know too. Let us know what your thoughts are, but be nice. My feelings get hurt very easily. I'm sensitive. I hope you guys have a fantastic and safe weekend.
Well, hold on real quick. Before we go, let's
we're
take a
not
look
done?
at these are some of the stories that we're going to be following on Monday.
Okay.
So take a look at this. The former Mexican cartel kingpin Ismael El Mayo Zambada is scheduled to be sentenced to life in prison in a Brooklyn federal court. And then it is also the final week of the Tour de France. And not to be rude to the Tour de France, but I didn't even know it was going on. I think the World Cup,
Well, the World Cup
kind of
totally,
overshadowed a little bit of the Tour de France, but they'll be wrapping up next week.
Speaking of World Cup, Saturday and Sunday, the two final games. So the second placers and the
third
absolute
placers
winners
tomorrow, and then then the big
right
winners.
here on Fox.
It'll be a weekend of fun sports.
Stay dry.
Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Raise your hands.
On a rainy day, a rainy Friday, which, by the way, only has a high today in the mid-90s, Des. Oh, my gosh. Ever since Crystal popped this on the 10-day, 10 days ago, we've been looking forward to it, haven't we?
I know, and the fact that it's like held true for us is great. We're loving
my gosh, it's so great. Yeah, so you can see the shiny roofs and the shiny streets in our view from downtown Phoenix, and Dean's Cam today takes us to the smoky, smoky skies of Kentucky. When you were living in Nashville, did you ever drop down into Kentucky just for, or I guess it would be driving north, for a little look around? I love Kentucky.
No, not much. I've only been to Bowling Green once because my uncle lived there.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, so I
Nice.
went and spent some time with him. But that was about it.
Don't they have the Corvette Museum?
Oh, I don't know. We
Bowling
didn't
Green?
go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
I think that's what's going on. But anyway, this whole situation, we have over 100 million people currently, right now, being impacted by all the Canadian fires. I feel like we should line up a guest next week. I don't know who it would be, but Dave's got the biggest Rolodex in the biz.
Wait, this is the fire or the smoke from the fire?
Smoke from the fire.
It is. Wow.
In Kentucky.
Wow. I hadn't realized it stretched that far.
Yeah,
That's
and
terrible. They did say things were going to worsen today, so
Yeah,
I guess that is
right?
true. Wow.
So I would just be curious to see what some expert in this country says Canada needs to start doing do they need help? I mean, we have I think probably the best firefighters in the world here in the USA.
I was talking about this with Crystal this morning because they said, obviously I lived in Buffalo, which is close to the Canadian border on one side. I said, I don't ever remember growing up with ever seeing the skies hazy because of wildfire smoke.
Right.
And she did say, it seems like it has become an issue more so in the last,
3 or 4 or 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. So, because this morning we took that shot of Chicago and their skyline was disappearing.
Yeah, for sure.
In the smoke, so.
Okay, let's see. We have Louis saying, good morning, Des. Welcome back, Hooner. We have such good, loyal folks who joined us in the chat every day. And by the way, DJ, who is one of our newer commentators, DJ Rath, says that...
welcome, DJ.
I must say Phoenix looks beautiful and absolutely on that shot. So... Anyhow, we are glad you're going to hang out with us for the next half hour. We have a really interesting topic here with Dr. Mark Anderson joining us today.
Yes.
So he is a physician here associated with the Amen Clinics, right? Dr. Daniel Amen, who's been on the show in the past, a kind of a worldwide well-known author, talking about what parents should know about summer break, which is just wrapping up, at least for some kids already back in school today and Monday, that type of a thing. But how summer break affects their brains. What do you got for us?
Yeah, well, thank you. And good morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I mean, well, as a child psychiatrist and also the parent of 3 children, between ages 15 and 7, this is, of course, a challenging time. More so, I think, in Phoenix because it's too dang hot to go outside and play or do anything. And so kids become naturally more reliant on electronics and indoor activities in order to kill some time. And this is especially true in lower income homes where they might not have the resources to, say, provide summer camps or to, buy memberships to bounce house, trampoline parks, etc. And so that kind of becomes a unique challenge as well. The one thing that we know about summertime is that sleep tends to go out the window, right? And lots of research shows that sleep is numero uno when it comes to physical and mental health. And some of that is to be expected. It's summer break. It's understandable that kids aren't going to still wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go to bed at 8. But one of the best things that we can do to help our kids not only thrive during summer, but also to ease the transition back into school is to fix sleep first, right? We want to try to keep kids on somewhat of a consistent schedule, and as school gets closer, ease them back into that a little bit at a time.
Well, what's a good transition period for that? My kiddo's already started, so kind of started early, but some, parents are still 2-3 weeks away from the start of school. So if they are off schedule with their sleep, what is that transition period we should be giving ourselves to get them back on, that sleep schedule?
Yeah. Ideally a couple of weeks if possible. And what I do and what some research has shown kind of to be the easiest is transitioning that bedtime back, say 15 to 20 minutes, every few nights or so, right? Just bouncing it back a little bit at a time. It's easier on the kids, right? It's not such a shock to the system, but it also allows a little bit more time for their circadian rhythm. So that's, the melatonin production and all the things that happen in the brain to adjust. So it's not so jarring to them. And then they're a lot less likely to experience those interim sleep issues, the insomnias, the early wakings, the late wakings, and then just being grouchy and tired the next day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about video games for a second because, when I'm interacting with my grandkids, I see them on video games. Either it's the big one on the big TV or they've got the Switch or whatever they're playing on. If you're in a situation where mom's working and dad's working and maybe an older, like a teenage brother, sister, that kind of thing is trying to keep tabs on everybody and what's going on, and yet you have this sense that there's way too much, like literally the way the screens are now right in front of your face.
Oh, yeah.
How do you help to break that addiction?
So, of course, electronics use surges in the summertime. And again, more so in hot places like Phoenix. And so, I think you have to be patient, right? And you have to be a little bit more flexible with kids. If their electronics use increases, you still want to moderate and observe, right? Because they can still find themselves in inappropriate places and doing inappropriate things just as easily during the summer as they can any other time of the year. Of course, there is so much or such a thing as too much. But I think one of the big things that we see now that we didn't see in the past, like when I was growing up and I was rocking my Super Nintendo, is the social aspect of gaming, right? Especially during the summer. Kids aren't in school. They're not interacting with their peers on a face-to-face basis as much anymore. And they may rely on the electronics, be that Roblox, be that online gaming, Call of Duty, whatever it might be, not only to keep them entertained, but also to interact with their friends. They get on there and they play with their friends, they talk back and forth. And so if you're kind of stripping that away from them, you may be worsening what is already kind of a socially isolating time for a kid. So you do have to really be conscious of that as well. And I mean, this is a challenge and a struggle that I myself have with my kids, who admittedly probably spend too much time on screens depending on the day.
Yeah. So, and we hear all these reports, right? How screen time, it's bad for their brains, for their development. How much of all of that is true, not true? So what is screen time, whether it be watching TV or playing a game, no matter how interactive or maybe educational the material is, but how bad is the screen for their brains?
It varies a little bit from kid to kid. Kids who deal with underlying mental health issues, be that ADHD, anxiety, etc., they may be a bit more sensitive to electronics and its effects on brains. When I'm chipping away at the Amen clinics and I'm dealing with patients and I'm talking to families about this, the way I like to kind of describe it, though it's overly simplified, I'll admit, is it's kind of like a dopamine faucet, right? So the kids get on these electronics, these screens, it's a high reward activity, turns on their dopamine faucet, right? And some kids, you can turn that dopamine faucet on a little bit and then they can transition off, they can turn it on and off and they're okay. Some kids, that dopamine faucet gets turned on and then here comes mom or dad or an appointment or something and that has to turn that off, and now they have to get off the game, and that can cause a lot of distress and despair and anger and irritability and can worsen all sorts of problems. And so it really does vary a little bit from child to child.
So do you talk them through it ahead of time? Say, look, I'm going to we're going to have some rules, and here's why it's good for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and communicating with kids and working with your kids to come up with what's reasonable and feasible, collaborative communication, if you will, it can be really helpful for kids. It allows them to come to the table and practice good communication skills, and then you're coming up with a solution that seems to work for everybody. And in the summertime, just like with sleep, transitioning slowly off of the electronics into a more structured routine and getting back to that school time electronics use, which, for some families maybe none, for some families maybe, limited, it is also helpful, a little bit at a time instead of all at once.
All at once, yeah. You're right, because that can be jarring for our little ones. Yeah,
absolutely.
A lot of good info in there. So it's Dr. Mark Anderson, and again, you are at the Amen Clinics. Is that how people would look you up online if they want to learn more?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Excellent.
Where are you guys located? Folks maybe follow Dr. Amen, didn't even realize that there was a an office right here in Scottsdale.
We get
in the Valley.
We get that all the time. Actually, we've been in the Valley, so we're up at North Scottsdale, just off the 101 and North Side. We've been here since 2023, but we still do get patients and people all the time saying, I didn't even know you had a clinic here. I was about to drive to Costa Mesa, California. And then I found you guys. And
well, there you go. He's world renowned, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks again
Thank
for your
you,
time.
Doctor.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.
Interesting, Des. How about this for a transition now? There is a story out today that talks about parents who lose sleep over their kids. This is so interesting to me. My kids are now in their 30s.
Do you still lose sleep over that?
40s, and if there are things going on, and you worry about them. It's just the way parenting is. So the researchers found the average parent loses as much as 7 hours of sleep per week. That is a big number. That is like almost an hour a night where you wake up and you start worrying about it. And the top concerns, guess what? Screen time, social media, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Really interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the majority of parents say they prefer having their child have access to a cell phone at school. And I think it's really good info that we just got from the doc. You got to talk about it with your kids ahead of time. I mean, if they're 8 years old and they want a phone, you can say, look, no, nobody's getting a phone until you're 12 or whatever it is.
Oh, right, whatever the
your
rule is in your
basic
house.
ground rules are. But from that point on, you still got to be active.
Yeah,
and engaged.
yeah, you're right. And, and sometimes I think we think that our children are, if you have like real little children, I'm kind of in the thick of all of that. Like, oh, they're too little to understand or have these conversations. But you'd be surprised, right? They understand a lot more than we think.
Yeah,
so a conversation might solve a lot.
Hey, mystery
Look
cam.
at this.
Look at this. Another smoky shot.
And it's windy.
Well, there we are. This is an amazing mystery cam because there are clues. It is smoky, so it's probably not like Oklahoma or Texas or New Mexico. Anywhere in the upper half, the northern half of the country, starting all the way out there in Minnesota, they're the hardest hit. But then all the way across the whole rest of the country, where would it be?
We don't have many guesses in the chat right now, but folks were engaged when we were talking to Dr. Anderson, so that is great. Some of you are kind of brutal, I must admit. Hassa goes, oh my gosh, they have to quit playing those video games.
Yeah, I mean, they are so addictive.
Right?
It's interesting because these social media companies, people are really getting after them for the addictive nature of social media. But what about these video games? My gosh.
Yeah, but that's where, everything in moderation, right? I mean,
gotta have some rules.
Depending on your kids' ages and the games they're playing, maybe a half hour of gaming isn't entirely bad. So, right, it's all around like maybe what guidelines you set. But I loved DJ. He goes, I built a 3-story tree fort out of wood that I scavenged one summer that stood for 20 plus years, he said. That is pretty impressive.
Wow, DJ, that is great. No kidding. Okay,
but
sounds a little bit like old-time Americana.
I grew up outside too, but like he's mentioned, this is Arizona. It is hot in the summer.
Sure.
You do have to get creative as a parent. How you're going to keep the kids busy.
We grew up when I was a kid we had a little hill above our house. I'm sure if I went back and looked at it today, it would be like, well, that's a 5-minute walk. But to me, it felt like an hour-long hike to get to the top to the water tower. And if you dared and you were like with your best bud, you could go on the other side of the hill to the junkyard.
Oh, right.
But boy, you didn't want to get caught sneaking around in the junkyard.
Yeah. How many of us were getting in trouble running around the streets, and these poor kids are just in the house playing video games?
Right,
maybe that's where they should be. No, I'm just kidding.
With their Switch 4 inches away from their eyeballs. Anyway.
But that bought us some time because I was trying to get a couple more guesses in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, back on track.
And we do have some.
Good.
All right. So Low Philosophy says this is Maryland. Louis Gonzalez says New York. Outlaw Dynamo thinks this could be Detroit. We have a Wisconsin from B. Miguel. Thomas Brown says Pennsylvania. Linda says Minnesota.
I am so intrigued by this shot because to me this looks like it's a big old high rise. Not just like 5 stories tall. This looks to me like it could be 30, 40 stories tall.
And I'm guessing Illinois. So there's a different.
You are going to go
Illinois?
Illinois?
There's a different state in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
But then on the other hand, it's just like this beautiful little random suburb with a lake. It's like 2 different types of cities. I don't know. I guess I'm going to go based on I'm going to go with Michigan. We had Michigan last hour. They're getting socked with all of the, is probably the wrong move to have back-to-back Michigans, but that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
How about you?
Oh, and I love DJ. He goes, I went from being a tree fort to a deer beer stand as I grew. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
okay.
Really.
All right. So the camera is it Mount Clemens?
Okay.
Michigan.
Oh, it is Michigan. A back-to-back Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm 2 for 2.
Wow.
Mount Clemens. We're going to have to figure out where that is.
Nice.
Des. So, yeah.
Who wrote this out today?
So Dean, the printer that Dean normally uses,
is this Dean's handwriting?
Is on the fritz, and so we've been analyzing.
I've never seen Dino's handwriting
I know.
before.
We've been analyzing his.
He does interesting ends.
Oh, does he?
They almost look like an H.
Oh yeah. All right.
But that's pretty good penmanship overall. Nice
Mount
job, Dean.
Clemens is a suburb of Detroit.
You mean you've never been there, Ron?
Really interesting. So it's maybe 20 miles north of Detroit, right up the lake. Very interesting.
Wow.
You really got to feel bad.
That is just so much smoke. Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of folks go and they spend their summer vacations up in northern Michigan, Traverse City, Mackinac Island, places like that. And I mean, you can barely see the nose in front of your face. So I feel really bad for folks who set their vacation times in the summer to go up to that pretty part of the USA.
It's unfortunate.
Hey, one other story having to do with spending time on your phones and your video machines and everything else, is they have started to talk, and I'm surprised we haven't talked about this more, about scrolling pains. We talked about text
like
neck.
physical pains.
Right. And we all know that text neck can be a thing because, you get with your phone. But now they're talking about, basically they're talking about text thumb.
I believe it. Watch, right? How many years from now are all of us going to be suffering with some sort of thumb arthritis?
Yes.
They said that could be something that we see from scrolling just a bit too much. So it doesn't seem like it's that far off, right? If all of us have kind of adopted the phone to being in our hand quite often, this could be the case because a new study now reveals that it may be taking a toll on our physical well-being. It's called texting thumb, and researchers found that excessive texting, scrolling, it's putting too much stress on our joints and tendons. If left untreated, they're saying repetitive typing and all of that swiping with little to no relief can lead to more serious issues like carpal tunnel and arthritis. So what do you think of that?
I feel like, think about this. Your mom and dad did not grow up with phones in their hands.
No.
I mean, they maybe got a phone 10 years ago. I don't know, 20 years ago. We're the first generation to deal with this, and maybe you give it, I feel like the phone is going to be with us for a long time, 100 years from now. But we're like the first generation of users, and maybe our bodies will somehow adapt. But I'm really glad we're talking about this because I think it could really become a thing.
And you know what I think of? I think of a lot of people who work from home.
Yeah.
I wouldn't assume naturally that a lot of those folks are writing, like physically writing with pen and paper.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're always at a computer, even for your hands to be in that position, I would think it even putting stress like on your wrists and
the whole carpal tunnel
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Now, I was kind of looking into this, and I saw where somebody was recommending, maybe it was just AI. Ready? Here's the exercise they say to do.
What is it?
If you get that feeling in either your elbow, or your hands or your wrist, especially your wrist, it's a little stretching exercise where you try to bring it all the way down about to your waist, which when you start to look at it, it's a little bit hard to do.
Oh, because it's stretching this
and it's stretching the wrist and that part of the arm. And so I don't know if that does much for your thumb.
But who would have thought we'd be talking thumb stretches, do thumb circles?
Okay, yes, actually.
Yeah, we
okay.
weren't doing all of this stuff how many years ago? But
Dave, let's bring in a hand expert.
We should.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sure
really
they're
should.
out there. Yeah, physical therapists.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk and watch what was going on here with a recent police stop.
Step back. Step back. Looks like potential bomb.
What?
Yeah, I'm serious. In the glove box.
So the Phoenix Police Bomb Squad, additional items led police to believe the truck was converted to steal gasoline, but on first blush, they thought they might have been dealing with a bomb.
That is terrifying.
Isn't that incredible?
And you see the officer, he remained pretty calm and cool and collected.
Yes.
Set it back immediately and said that we should step back. That's just incredible to see that.
We talk all the time, Des, about how your husband is a police officer serving his community. But I got to believe in general, on an everyday basis, you see something new that maybe you never had seen before. And this might be in that category.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. To think that you pull over a vehicle that's, how it's outfitted to do what they were doing. So this happened back on June 30th. So police just happened to stop this truck for a red light violation. They ran a red light, and then that's what they found in doing the search of this vehicle. There in the glove box, they found a device with digital displays, those wires, batteries. That first thing that came to his mind is this looks like it could be a bomb. So the bomb squad was called in. It was determined that it was not an explosive, but it appears they were using that to siphon all of that gasoline. And then look at what's in the back of the bed of the truck there. Probably some sort of tank,
right?
Makeshift tank to hold the gasoline.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't think any officer would think that this would be what they'd find in a traffic stop.
I mean, it looks like they really put some thought into it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about all of us here at Fox 10 is we all have different kinds of schedules. And so you and I get to work together a little bit on the morning show, and then we get to have this show on our streaming platform on Fox 10 Talks.
Mm-hmm.
You usually squeeze in usually a fun or food-oriented live shot. Today you weren't food-oriented, but you were having fun.
That's why I'm so hungry today. But we had a great time out at State Farm Stadium for the Home and Landscape Show. Take a look.
Okay.
It is indoors, you guys, and guess what? You can find anything here at the Home and Garden Show, including, look at this, one of these vibrating plates. Apparently you can get a 10 minutes on this is an hour workout. But coming up, you guys, we're going to talk to these guys over here. We've got America Roofing Professionals and more. We're here with Brianna this morning. Brianna, we're in a really cool space right now. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing. What vendor booth are we standing in?
We're in Kokomo Grills. This is an outdoor luxury kitchen. So this is just one of the over 900 vendors here. So the stadium floor is packed. I recommend wear comfortable shoes because there's so many things to see here.
Yeah, that is a smart tip. Wear flats or sneakers at least. And I'm so sorry, I lost my train of thought. I couldn't think of the word I was looking for there. But Kokomo Grills, awesome display. I mean, they have got some elite grills on tap right here. Look at that, just so cool. And I'm always impressed by how the vendors really set up so you can really see their products and even use some of them. Yeah. What are some of the other vendors as we take a walk through that are here?
So of course we have the home improvement. We are known for that. We have great deals all weekend long, but we have some other local artisans. So if you're in the market just to go shopping, grab some small items, we have a plant pavilion with a houseplant shopping array. It's going to be so big and beautiful and lush over there. So houseplants, artisans, home improvement.
We saw some windows and doors there as we're walking through.
All right. So it looked like you had a lot of fun. Did you get a good workout on that machine?
I don't know. I wish I could have stayed on it longer, but we had to do the live shot. So, I couldn't be rude. But no, that felt great. But right, you can get everything. Like you can get something small, like she was mentioning, a little house plant, maybe a vibrating plate, or maybe you set up an appointment to get your roof redone. Like, you can pretty much get anything there.
Out there at the State Farm Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to run.
Yeah, that's it. Happy Friday.
Woo!